Good evening, everybody. This is Dr. Troy Fullerton with Bilingual Barrier Busters. And in a couple of recent videos, we've discussed a couple of very important things. We talked about how we wound up with the Spanish language in the first place, how it developed out of Latin, specifically Vulgar Latin. And we also talked about how the other Romance languages developed. And when I say a Romance language, I mean a language based on Latin. Latin was the language of the Roman Empire, so we get the connection there. We're not saying that they are the languages of love and romance. No, what we mean is they are languages based on what was the language of Rome, which was Latin. Now, you may have listened to those videos and thought, yes, but so what? What does that mean to me nowadays? Well, here is the deal. Because these languages all grew out of Latin, they tend to have a tremendous amount of lexical similarity. What's lexical similarity? I mean, they have a lot of cognates, that is, look-alike words. There are a lot of words that are very similar to one another because they tended to be, many of them, most of them in fact, tended to be based on the Latin that was brought to the areas where those languages developed by the Roman Empire. So French and Spanish, Italian, Romanian, Portuguese, Catalan, the many of the Italian dialects, these were all Romance languages or dialects. Therefore, we know that they are related to one another. Now, that does not mean that they are mutually intelligible, but that does mean that if we learn one, it's going to be very easy to acquire another. Maybe I shouldn't say very easy. It's going to be much easier to acquire another than if we were learning a totally unrelated language. If you learn Spanish, that's not going to help you very much if you then turn around and try to learn Korean or one of the Semitic languages like Arabic or Hebrew or some African language. It's not going to help you because those languages did not grow out of the same language family. However, if you already speak one Romance language and you try to learn another, you're going to find that you already have a lot of the grammar down. You already have a lot of the way that the words are put together. You're going to recognize cognates, that is, look-alike words, sometimes to a greater degree than others. People who speak Portuguese tend to be able to understand people who speak Spanish. It doesn't work the other way around, unfortunately, because Portuguese has a much more complex sound system. People who speak Spanish oftentimes can at least get the gist of what people are saying in Italian,